So Divya, what has been your dream in life? What have you always thought of your life to be?
Practical experience almost equivalent to nil. How would they know what to do and what's happening?
Divya, did you always want to become an advocate? How would you ever see your dream come true? Or how would you ever see yourself be the person of your dreams? पूरा तालाब ही गंदा है एक तरह से.
Right.
How are you even dreaming of cleansing it?
And आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ होगा, बाकियों के साथ ऐसा नहीं होता है.
तारीख पे तारीख है, ट्रायल पे ट्रायल है. But at the end of the day, I guess we are always very true to who are the people who suffer and who are the people who are. जसवीरा स्टॉक जोन पे हम आपके साथ हर बार एक नया एपिसोड लेके और एक नया टॉपिक लेके जरूर जुड़ते हैं और कई सारे टॉपिक्स हम बना चुके हैं इन वेरियस फील्ड्स. सो आप अगर इसको सब्सक्राइब करते हैं तो आपको ये नोटिफिकेशन टाइम पे आ जाएगा और इस नोटिफिकेशन के आने के बाद आप उस पॉडकास्ट का पूरी तरह से फ़ायदा उठा सकते हैं और उनको अपने नियर एंड डियर वंस के साथ शेयर करके अपनी ड्यूटी ऑफ बीइंग अ गुड फ्रेंड, अ गुड रिलेटिव भी पूरी कर सकते हैं. सो आप अपने फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली, बच्चों के साथ बैठ के ये पॉडकास्ट देखिए, ये नॉलेज शेयर कीजिए और इसका फ़ायदा उठाइए. इसी पॉडकास्ट की छोटी रील्स, 30 सेकेंड्स वाली रील्स आपको इंस्टाग्राम पे मिल जाएंगी, जसवीरा स्टॉक जोन पे, या YouTube पे भी यही रील्स आपको एज शॉर्ट्स एंड क्लिप्स मिल जाएंगे. सो प्लीज़ आप सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और इसका भरपूर फ़ायदा उठाइए. In this fast-paced Gen Z world where Gen Next is moving ahead, a lot of paradigms are changing, and so is there a shift in the young brains. Jasveera Stock Zone always comes ahead with new topics and new fields. Today, we are going to showcase young Divya Menon. She has recently graduated from Punjab University, Chandigarh, presently serving in the district courts. She is a young child, full of ambition, full of compassion, full of consciousness, full of awareness, and wants to bring a change into this world. In this podcast, Jasveera's Talk Zone. It is a pleasure and delight to have the young, vibrant, charming Divya Menon with us.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Divya is a young advocate.
Yes.
In the field of crime, in the field of justice, in the field of law. Divya, welcome to the studios of GBC.
Thank you.
And welcome to Jasveera's Talk Zone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a pleasure being here, and what an introduction. The field of crime, yet in the field of creativity, we are here today.
True enough. So Divya, what has been your dream in life? What have you always thought of your life to be?
The answer that strikes my mind right now is to say that once we're done with this podcast, may this hit 1 million tomorrow morning when I wake up. A simple, sweet dream. And waking up to that would be nice. And other than that, I think I would really want to be the Chief Justice of India.
Oh, wow. So the first dream you share with me, yes, I would also love it if it hits 1 million podcasts or 1 million views. And indeed, the Chief Justice of India. Hopefully, of course, we have not had lady Chief Justices.
Yes.
I may not be able to say that you would be the first lady Chief Justice because I hope there would be someone.
Yes, I really hope so too.
Yes.
I really hope so that as well. But if not, we have a good chance at being the first one, nonetheless.
Yeah, nonetheless. True. But as a person, how do you see yourself, Divya?
Well, I, as a person, would say that I incline towards things that take me towards that's something ethical, something that has a good moral backing, something that helps me sleep peacefully at night so that I have a peace in my heart that I did something good and there's no malice, and that I'm as a person doing my bit towards whatever I can do.
That is very paradoxical, I must say. Being in a profession which I just introduced you as, which deals with crime, which deals with so much of controversy and so much of litigation and things like that. How would you ever see your dream come true, or how would you ever see yourself be the person of your dreams?
Well, you're right. This profession does bring you stories which are not so very nice, as I just mentioned my dream world to be. But then again, I think we as individuals have our own stories. I'm here today, and I think the reason I'm here today is because maybe I would have done something right all these years, and I'm not one of those rotten apples of this profession that we're here and talking today. So therefore, I think that yes, this profession does deal with a lot of not so good things. We have issues where the wrong is being defended in the courts of justice. But then again, coming to me as a person and the dream that I have, I think all I can do is my bit towards the little cleansing of the profession that I can do and the little better of the society that I can do.
Generally, advocates feel that they are going to bring in a solution to the problem of the people.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate part is that they become a problem for the people, because you know the way it is with judiciary.
Yes.
It is तारीख पे तारीख,
Yes.
and ये fact है कि जो accused है, I wouldn't even say accused, one person waiting for justice keeps waiting for a lifetime.
Yes.
And it doesn't happen to one, it happens to almost everybody. Divya.
Yes.
So इतना जब पूरा तालाब ही गंदा है एक तरह से,
Right.
how are you even dreaming of cleansing it?
You very rightly mentioned the Tariq pe Tariq part, and the fact that most of the water is mulky. But then, as a young advocate, I think we should be the reason there comes a little change, even if the tiniest of it. We could be the little lotuses that grow in this mulky waters. But yes, you're right, ma'am. The process is the punishment for the victim, and sometimes also for the innocent wrongly being implicated in a matter. And also sometimes the verdict that comes is the punishment for the victim again, or a complete vindication for the accused. And in situations like where तारीख पे तारीख डलती है या यहाँ इंसाफ नहीं मिलता, my lord. So all of these filmy jargons are sadly somewhat true, because there lacks a little bit of coherence between the bar and the bench. And of course, as a young advocate, I have to be hopeful, even if hoping for a utopian, non-realistic thing, because I think we as the change bearers should do our bit and bring about the change, even if it's wishful thinking. But we must not lose hope and do our little bit that...
Divya, did you always want to become an advocate?
I always knew that I have a knack for speaking. I was very thorough with my debates and declamations throughout school, but I always wanted to be a doctor. And I was a NEET aspirant in my 11th and 12th. But then the exam did not happen, and the profession that I was willing to choose did not choose me, and then law chose me. And once that happened, I think I wasn't in a better place of judgment when I was a little 11th grader. But now that I'm into this profession, I think my skill set is better put to use. And now that this profession has chosen me, and like you mentioned before, that rather than becoming the part of a solution. Advocates often tend to end up becoming the problem itself. So I think I would personally want that now that I'm in this profession and I did not choose it and it chose me, I should be the part of the solution rather than the problem.
So we here have a person who is ready to bring about a major change.
Hopefully. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I know that you've had a very short experience. Abhi to main keh sakti hu, you have just entered judiciary.
Yes.
So any observation which you would want to share with our viewers here?
So I was a judicial aspirant, and there used to be the eligibility of just being a law graduate before you could enter the district judiciary. And very recently, we've had a judgment that mandates a 3-year practice at the courts. So my little experience in these few months, I would say, it's been 7-8 months that I've been full-fledgedly practicing. The worst and the best experience has been with the interactions that advocates have at the bench. So someone who's a fresh graduate does not really know the other end of the bench, where the people are struggling, the litigants are standing in queues for hours, they're waiting for their turn, and the judges, for some reason or the other, they're not very adept with what's happening outside the courtroom. So this 3-year experience that's been made mandatory before you become a district judge, which is the first point of contact for someone who wants to initiate a litigation, be it a civil rights that's being affected, be it a criminal offense that's been committed. So being at the district judiciary and not knowing what's going on with the people was something very sad. But now that with this reform that's recently come, I think it's a good thing, and it happened while I was practicing. So watching everything firsthand really makes me feel that it's a good change. And once we really know how the people are suffering and why the people are suffering, the things that need to be bettered become easy. There's a very famous quote that says, when the why becomes clear, the how becomes easy. So this thing is something that's really good that has happened, and I like it.
Very true. Divya, I totally agree with you. I have also realized one thing, and I'm very surprised that the judiciary has till date not understood this, that you make a huge cause list.
Yes.
People travel miles to go because they know it's a hearing today.
Yes.
And then they come to know, पहले 2 cases में ही आज judge ने court बंद कर दिया. Means there are 50 cases listed. At times, you know, I have seen my number at 155.
Okay.
And my advocate would say, no man, you need to come. So you take a leave.
Yeah.
You go up to that court. You go and sit down there and you watch the judge listening endlessly to just one case. I mean, they have no connect with whatever is on data for them, what is their schedules, and they have no connect with the time and speed with which they are going, and how much of public waste of time that is done there. Kindly excuse me if I am saying anything wrong. But yes, I would definitely through this channel want to bring it to the notice of the public, to the notice of all the people who are, that please be a little considerate.
Right.
People come to you for justice, and they don't deserve to be dealt this way. And I really feel, even today, being a citizen of this country and a part of the whole milieu, I definitely feel that unfortunate are the people who ever have to visit the courts in India.
That's right.
Because it is less a place of justice, it is more a place for harassment.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Divya, you belong to a profession where we all know, and it is common lingua franca, that lawyers are known as liars. And you want to bring a change in this profession.
Right.
So how do you bear the torch of change here?
Well, that was quite an allegation, and the natural instinct of an advocate wants to defend that full front and be like, no ma'am, there's nothing of the sorts, everything is fine, and you know, everything is all crystal clear, there's nothing of the sorts that you've mentioned, and aapke saath aisa hua hoga, bakiyon ke saath aisa nahi hota hai. But unfortunately so, let me agree that
every word
right.
of it is true.
Yes.
And I'm sure you realize it as well. Somewhere deep down inside yourself, Because if you say you are a person of deep consciousness
Yes.
and you want to live a life of awareness,
Yes.
so when you're aware and when you're a conscious person, you realize what sort of misery you may be creating
Yeah.
for the other souls.
Yeah.
And that is where you want to bring the change.
Yes. And that is why I want to bring the change, because when I see let me answer your question. You had 2 allegations / facts to throw. The first one was about judges not being considerate about the people who are listed in their cause list and not getting a place in the courtroom that day despite them traveling for the date. And the second was about
just sorry
Yeah.
to cut you short, but also for
Yeah.
having made them wait for maybe 6 months, at times 7
Yeah.
months, 8 months,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you come to know, oh, there's going to be no
Yeah,
hearing
no
today,
way, right.
and another 6 months to wait.
right.
That's the way it goes.
So that's the thing I was telling you right now, ma'am, that the first point of contact for anybody who wants to initiate a litigation, unless it's a constitutional matter which is dealt with the honorable constitutional courts, the district judiciary is your first point of contact. And when that happens and the judge sitting on the bench doesn't really know what's happening outside the courtroom. So this reform that has been brought recently, that before you become a district judge, you need to have a 3-year practice as an advocate, so that you see what's happening in the corridors, what's happening outside your courtroom, what sort of frustration you have to go through when your matter... So it happens with me as well. I prepare a matter and I have an argument ready and I'm so excited for it, and my turn doesn't come up. And I am answerable to my client because they expect you have litigated the matter. So what's the outcome? And I have to sadly tell them that, there's a date. And you're right. So the sensitization through this process of reforming the lower subordinate judiciary, of bringing in the experience of a 3-year advocacy, I think is really important. It will make the judges very considerate, sensitive, and aware of what's happening, which I think was a gray area for them, because someone who's just graduated from a law school and has given an exam with practical experience almost equivalent to nil, how would they know what to do and what's happening? So it's a good reform, and I really am hopeful again that good sense would prevail and empathy would ring in some good tunes. Coming to the next point of lawyers being liars and them turning into the problem makers instead of the solution givers. Well, because I belong to the profession, and with all due respect to you, because you've been through, like you said, your matters own were listed at 155 and you had to come the way down, but then nothing happened. I think, let me first give you a witty answer, because I think I would like to dodge that bullet by saying we're good storytellers, and we're good storytellers rather than liars, and we have evidence like a poet has his poems. We also have evidence with footnotes, and we're just good storytellers, and it's a creative work of art. But you're right, and I would acknowledge your fact that yes, sometimes certain incidents have been so where the accused people who were on the face of it not so defendable were being defended by some of the top advocates of this country in matters which had a huge public outrage as well. Some could be a terrorist case, could be a rape case, could be anything. But the concept of innocent until proven guilty and the trial taking all those years. Of course, even I'm reading a book recently. It's called Incomplete Justice. The Supreme Court at 75. It's edited by Honorable Justice Muralidhar, and there was a line, a beautiful, sad line in it, which said, in litigation, it's often that the process becomes the punishment for the victim, and the outcome is usually a vindication for the perpetrator.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Indeed, very well said,
Yeah.
and put so briefly, encapsulated
Exactly.
the exact predicament of what happens
Yeah.
in the litigation.
And of course, even I would say that there's something, one of my seniors, he often quotes that Khuda bachaye in hakeemon se, in wakilon se, or in haseeno se. So of course, court kacheri ka chakkar, I mean, it's my profession, it's my bread and butter, but ना पड़े तो अच्छा है.
बिल्कुल सही बोला कि लोग हमेशा यही कहते हैं कि भगवान सफेद कोट से भी बचाना, काले कोट से भी बचाना, बाकी सब कुछ ठीक है. सो ना डॉक्टरों के हाथ में कोई पड़े तो ना वकीलों के हाथ में कोई पड़े तो जिंदगी बढ़िया है.
Right.
So that is the way it does
Yeah.
go. So Divya, do you emphasize yourself as a people's person? Of course, I know you do, with a kind of a passionate heart you have.
Yeah.
What would you do, given a chance, as an advocate,
Right.
to mitigate the suffering of anyone, in any particular scenario?
It comes back to my first answer of what my dream is, and it comes back again to morals and certain professional ethics as well. There's a big semester study we do on professional ethics, and it teaches you all about that. To mitigate the sufferings of whoever comes in contact with the litigation, be it as an accused or as a victim, I think the role of an advocate should be to be an officer of the court. If you consider yourself as an officer of the court and consider it your ethical duty that you're here for justice, rather than, I mean, I shouldn't be as crude, but rather than minting money. So that's where I think my personal take on this would be that, I mean, I aspire to be the Chief Justice of India, so why not? Like, those ethics should always be there when you're considering the pros and cons of whether should I take this matter or not, should I take this matter or not. Well, I mostly deal with civil, and it's the criminal matters usually that shake your conscience a bit and question you if you should take this matter, you should defend this person or not. But I think when you weigh it and you have a plausible reason and your conscience is like, let's not do it, even if it's good money, you should probably not. I mean, I wouldn't. And to answer your question about mitigating the sufferings, I think, ma'am, it's a very cooperative process that should go on between, again, the judiciary and the bar. The advocate cannot alone just mitigate the suffering, because at the end of the day, we cannot do a solo act. It has to be a coherent performance between the judges and the advocates. So all of that would, in a mutual way, when everyone in that courtroom behaves, performs, and thinks like an officer of the court, rather than being, very strict about, oh, I'm here to defend, even if this person has, raped a 2-year-old kid, I would defend him to death. Or the prosecution just thinking that, oh, I have made him the accused, even if he's not guilty of something, I need to make this person the accused.
Very true.
Yeah.
Divya, I would like to, just bring in another point here, since you've been trying to defend this,
Right.
that one should be the officer of the court.
Yeah.
I would say we can add another line to this, officer of the court and friend of the people.
Yeah.
So if you are an officer there and if you're a friend here, what you're basically doing is, yes, defending. But say if perchance someone has been accused or prosecuted
Yes.
by the prosecution, by the police, it is not important to defend the indefensible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, let us be very, very, I think, very, very clear about it. That if there is a mistake, one should just stand and then hold true.
Yeah.
That yes, there's been a mistake and I would like to backtrack. Rather than, just stand up on ego and say, look, I never fail. I never make a
That's
mistake.
right.
I never go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, that sort of attitude when it comes into professionalism
Yeah.
may be damaging the social fabric.
Yeah, it
somewhere.
does. I mean, yeah.
So probably this should be a kind of a wake-up call
Yeah.
for the young and budding
Yeah.
new advocates,
Right.
where you can, of course, appreciate how beautifully the other person sticks to the friendship path,
Yeah.
sticks to the honesty of the profession, and also sticks to it that it doesn't matter. I don't matter here. What matters is justice.
Yeah. Exactly.
And there is a saying in the Indian judiciary also, which says that you may let go of 100 culprits, but never punish a wronged innocent.
Yeah.
Not a single innocent should be
Yes.
punished. So I guess that is the best part of the judicial system,
Right.
which we have in India. Yes, of course, तारीख पे तारीख है, trial पे trial है. But at the end of the day, I guess we are always very true to who are the people who suffer
Yeah.
and who are the people who are
Right.
dealt with seriously.
That's very right, ma'am. And you put it very rightly. To be a friend is very important, because when you have that feeling of empathy inculcated in you, it prompts you and it pushes you to not be unfaithful towards your profession as well, and to the client. So that ethic is good. It's important.
So Divya, thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're most
And it
welcome.
was a delight to have you. But one thing is for sure, Divya, there are lots of questions
Yes.
which our viewers would want to ask
Right.
on various aspects. Since you deal with civil,
Right.
I would like to take another episode with you. Most probably next Saturday, viewers, we are going to go up again in the air, and Divya will be here with us to discuss a few important aspects of the civil
Sure, ma'am.
litigations. Civil litigations generally deal with property litigations,
Right.
where women suffer a lot.
Right.
औरतें ना इस घर की हैं ना उस घर की हैं, वो कहीं की भी नहीं हो पाती. So Divya is going to be with us to tell us how women can really protect and safeguard their rights,
Right.
and we will look forward to that. Meanwhile, thank you so much for being
It was
here
a
with
delight
us.
being here. Thank you for having me.